What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Brownstone. Once again, we are here for Brownstone's Best Business Review. And today, we are honored to have in our Brownstone Worldwide Virtual Studios the one and only Coach John Lawson III. And we're going to be talking to him today about all of the things that he has done in his career as an entrepreneur and what he's been up to lately. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with who John Lawson III is, I definitely wanted to give you some information that you can take back with you. So here's a couple of things, neighbors, that we want you to do. Grab your pens, grab your paper, because this is a gentleman that you want to glean from when it comes to building, growing, and developing a business. So let's talk about who John Lawson is. First of all, folks, he's a seasoned entrepreneur. We're not talking about anybody that's just salt and pepper here, honey. He is Lowry's and he is the lemon pepper, okay? He's an e-commerce authority and an AI expert with over 2 decades of digital expertise. Now, wouldn't you want to hear from him when it came to building your e-commerce business or any business in 2026 and beyond? Of course you would. Now, from high school, let's talk about this. From high school, where he dropped out, to industry leader, he's generated, sit down, neighbors, on the front porch, 8-figure sales in e-commerce and digital products. A captivating speaker who's presented in 13 countries on stages from South by Southwest to the White House. John has helped hundreds of thousands of business owners. John is Verizon's Digital Ready AI instructor and a 2-time best-selling author and business consultant. He makes complex concepts simple and actionable. And guys, I can attest to that. For sure, because a lot of the things that this gentleman has taught, I have applied to Brownstone Worldwide and Brownstone Living Magazine, which, by the way, he is our dual issue cover model for this year. So without further ado, let's go ahead and bring Coach John Lawson III to the front porch to come and hang out with us. How are you? Good to see you, sir.
Yay, that was so good. Oh my God, I can't wait to hear from him.
Welcome. Thank you so much for being with me today to talk to the people in the neighborhood. It's so good to have you. It's an honor, truly.
Yeah, same. It's an honor. Thank you so much.
Yeah. And so let's jump right in, because when I was reading, so first of all, I've seen you on stages. I've seen you speak. I've been in the hot seat with you years ago. And so let's talk about that. First of all, I understand high school dropout, and then you've gone from 8 figures, but people forget that between that and that 8 figures, what happened? How'd you get there?
Oh, it was simple. It was so easy.
It was simple.
No.
Okay. I'm listening.
Absolutely not. I mean, there's so many stories. I mean, you're talking about a 20-year kind of, career doing my own thing. But I don't know. Where do you want to start? There's so many.
Yeah, and it is. And I know a little bit of your story because you have shared that on stage with us. But for those of you all who are not a part of this particular community, you wouldn't know. But I would love to start with how you even got into commerce itself. Like what?
Okay.
I remember stories of products being in your dining room and making decisions about shoestrings and so forth. So let's dig there and how you made a decision to be where you are, and you're on the leading force of what's happening with AI and commerce.
Yeah, here's the deal. And I don't go all the way back, but I happened to be at breakfast with a friend of mine, and we were talking, and he was bringing out all these, I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot about that. So let's just go, like you said, how did I get into the eBay world, And that's what it was. At the time, I was a friend, well, I'm not even going to call him a friend of mine, but a friend of a friend. Had convinced me that I should flip houses with him. And this is
Okay.
early 2000s, right? And so we ended up, I was the guy that had the good credit. So I was the signer, and we signed and we bought a house. And you're in the Atlanta area, so you know
Yeah.
this. It was on the corner of Joseph Lowry and Martin Luther King. You know, see your face? See your face?
I'm
Right?
sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And so, oh, he convinced me this was an area was going to turn around, and it was just on the brink, and all of this, you know. And so, we bought this house, and had like a hard money loan,
Mm-hmm.
um, and the build out, right? So we got the money, get the build out. We're doing a walkthrough, and
Mm-hmm.
he's showing me the house, and it's got 2 bedrooms upstairs and then another bedroom in the basement.
Mm.
Well, right. And the deal is, if it's in the basement, it don't count.
Right.
So what I thought was a 3 bedroom, 1 bath ended up listing as a 2 bedroom, 1 bath. And the
Okay.
difference between a 3 bedroom and a 2 bedroom and what you can get for
Yep.
rent was, totally different. And basically, that 2 bedroom was not going to cover the mortgage payments. So I'm
Mm.
upside down in this mortgage
Okay.
now, all of a sudden. And it's all on me, man. And it just wasn't going to work out. And I could just see money leaking out of my account every month,
Wow.
to the point where it's like, I'm probably just going to go bankrupt on this house
Mm-hmm.
and just let me get out of this.
Mm-hmm.
And at this time, I'm making like 50 grand a month, or
Mm-hmm.
not. Yeah, I'm 50 grand a year. Sorry,
Okay.
on my job. And go back to 2000, that was a pretty good salary.
Pretty
Today,
good.
it's
Yeah.
like, table stakes. But back then, it
Right.
was a pretty good salary. And I'm just leaking every month. And so I'm going to file bankruptcy. So I was talking to another friend of mine about
Mm-hmm.
filing bankruptcy. He's like, well, you could sell some books on eBay because you got all these books. And that's how I got started. I started
Oh,
selling
wow.
my, and I was, an IT professional. So I started selling my IT books on
Okay.
eBay, started
Mm-hmm.
listing them. They start selling. And that gives me some breathing room.
Okay.
Suddenly I'm like running out of books. What else can I sell? And that's how I started my eBay business. So I started, looking at things in my house, my mom's house, my sister's
Okay.
house. What can we sell? And that's how I started on eBay. When I
Right.
ran out of that stuff,
Uh-huh.
I started wondering what else could I get into. And I started selling returns from Dell. So they were Dell computers.
Okay. Okay.
I sold Dell computers that we would buy on Dell Outlet. So
Okay.
we buy them straight up from Dell, flip them, and sell on eBay, to the
Mm-hmm.
point where we were the #1 seller of Dell computers on
Wow.
eBay. And Dell got mad,
What?
right? And so they started looking at our listings and said, hey, you can't use any of our photos for
Oh,
your
wow.
resellable stuff. Which
Yeah.
it's like, that's so crazy. We're buying them straight from you. You're getting full payment for anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the bad part. I got pissed off.
Mm.
So since they said we can't use any of their stuff, I started taking photos of the Dell computers, and then I would put a girl in a bikini next to them just to really piss Dell off.
Okay.
The crazy thing is that once we did that, they started selling for 20% higher than they did. Because, yeah, exactly. That's when I learned about, sex really does sell.
No,
So here
yeah.
I'm doing it to make them mad. And
Yeah.
it ends up selling at higher price endings than before.
Okay.
I
Okay.
don't know. I don't
Yeah.
care. All I know is we're in, man. And so,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, literally, our business started growing and growing and growing so much that I started looking at whether or not I need to leave my job, you
Mm-hmm.
know, because I'm like, if I could spend 8 hours a day on this stuff
Mm-hmm.
versus what I'm doing over there at Accenture, and like,
Right.
maybe I should go ahead and leave. And so I started making a strategy for leaving my job. And
Okay.
that strategy really ended up being that if I left my job, here's the nugget for you guys. It
Mm-hmm.
was like if I leave my job and become the employee of the
Mm-hmm.
company, it's going to kill the company because the company can't really afford to pay me what I need to live on
Yeah.
and still grow. So
Mm-hmm.
the strategy ends up being I'm going to create another uh, uh, product line.
Okay.
And so I ended up buying a heat press and started pressing mouse pads. And I figured that, at $7 a pop, if I sell, 7 mouse pads a day
Yeah.
for, on a 5 day week, it would be enough for me to leave my job and not
Mm-hmm.
leave my job like all these other people want to do. They want to leave their job and keep the same car. They want
Yeah.
to be doing their nails every day. They want to
Right.
have all the. When I was leaving my job, I was leaving my job to eat peanut butter and jelly.
Okay.
See, because
Okay.
it was more important for me to get off the plantation than it was for me to be cute. See,
Yes.
and that's
Love
where
that.
that's where a lot of people don't want. So I'm ready to reduce my lifestyle
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so that I could be free
Mm-hmm.
versus staying on the plantation and being in bondage.
Yeah.
That's one of the things you got to do. So I had really narrowed it down to what was the lowest amount that I needed every month, and if I could
Mm-hmm.
do that, selling these side hustle mouse pads,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm ready to do it.
Yeah.
And so I went ahead, made my strategy, left the job, and within a week, I was doing 10 mouse pads a day. So there you go.
Wow.
Really, really. But I had a
Hmm.
good strategy. And I
Okay.
didn't really leave. I was supposed to leave at the beginning of that coming year, and I didn't really end up leaving until September.
Okay.
So, I knew what I wanted to do, and until all of those ducks were in a row, I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
leaving.
Okay. Okay. So a couple things that you said that struck me, even as an entrepreneur myself. Number one, you had already clearly made a decision that you were going to leave. Was there ever a time where you were like, I can't do this. Maybe it'll be better if I stay safe and stay at this job because it comes with X, Y, and Z. And if I leave and eat the peanut butter and jelly and just do the minimum in terms of survival, I'm leaving so much on the table. What were your thoughts in that moment? Were you just like, you know what, let me just get out here and just go ahead and do it? Were you hesitant at any point?
Um, well, one argument that came up, and I remember my mother brought this up, is like, what are you going to do for insurance? You
Hmm.
know, that was a real issue somewhat, but I was only 30 something years old.
Right.
And, I'm going to go out and just get free and worry about the
Mhm.
insurance later. But I
Yeah.
was like, in my mind, I always knew, I'm like, look, there's all kind of entrepreneurs out here. There has to be opportunity for the insurance. Plus, when I leave my current job, I can always take that whatever that expensive insurance that they offer. So
Cobra.
I knew
Yeah.
I could, I knew I had that. Yeah, Cobra. So I knew I
Yeah.
had that on the list. Um, was there ever? No. I mean, like I said, I was supposed to leave in January, didn't leave until September. So
Mhm.
some things weren't, all the ducks weren't in a row, but
Mhm.
no time in there was I ever saying I'm not going to get away. There's no
Wow.
there was no appeal to the
Mhm.
plantation, that
Mm.
freedom. didn't have
Mm.
better options for me. There just weren't.
Yeah.
The idea of being free
Mm.
was totally outweighing all the other things that they would offer and lifestyle of the
Mhm.
plantation. This was the first time I really could see freedom. And that was just so big for me, you know.
Right.
I think that, there's a difference between a natural born entrepreneur and
Mhm.
somebody that just starts a business. There's a difference. And I
I
was an
see.
entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I had to be free.
You
So
had to be free. I love
yeah, I
that.
had to.
And I actually wrote that down. You said get off the plantation. So it wasn't even like a leap of faith for you. It was like, this is what I feel inside. You just knew. And the
Yeah.
decision to do that, do you think that things kind of lined up for you? Or did you get those hiccups and those bumps along the way, which is what I myself and others deal with on a regular basis? And what would you say to people who are dealing with that, who have those hiccups, those bumps, and it doesn't look like it's going to reveal itself in any way to ever get clear? What would you say to people when they say, I want to get off the plantation, I want to be free? Are you, I'm going to lead that to you because I'm going to answer that question for myself, right? Because I know what I'm thinking for me. But how do you convey that to someone who is saying, I'm throwing in the towel?
Well, I think one of the things is you got to sit down and have you know, like they say, a come to Jesus moment about what
Hmm.
it's going to take to get out.
Yeah.
Right. So before anything, I had the financial understanding of what
Yep.
it was going to take. Right.
Hmm.
And one of the stories I don't tell is that I failed at 3 businesses before this, you know.
Hmm.
So that's how strong it was. It was always pulling me. But
Hmm.
like I said, I've really sat down and put the numbers to paper, pen to paper, and I had my number. When I hit that number, I'm leaving. That's what
Yeah.
it was. So January didn't hit it. February didn't hit it. But
Hmm.
if you're going to be an entrepreneur and a really successful entrepreneur, then the thing is you have to have the ability to meet and overcome all
Hmm.
obstacles that are thrown in your path. And there will be obstacle after obstacle after obstacle. Hell, gravity is an
Hmm.
obstacle when you want to fly, you
Hmm.
know? So
Hmm.
that's the key. You're going to constantly be faced with challenges. And even to this day, I'm always being faced with other challenges. Like
Hmm.
they say, more money, more problems. It don't matter
Sure.
how high you get. You're always going to have problems, and it doesn't matter how much money you make. I know people that made 10 times more money than me that spent it
Mhm.
all,
My
that
God.
are
Wow. I
living from
can't even
paycheck to
imagine.
paycheck.
Woo. I
You
can't even
know,
imagine.
yeah,
Wow. Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
There's people that have problems at all phases. You're
Yeah.
always going to, until you get the discipline and get
Hmm.
it under. But one thing I will tell you is that as you beat and overcome, you
Hmm.
understand your armor.
That's good. That's good. Explain that a
Yeah.
little bit. How did you discern what your armor was?
Well, I mean, just it gets reinforced more and more as you get out there, and then you find out what are some of the kinks in your armor that need to be covered,
Hmm.
and that makes you more and more resistant to challenge. And as you
Right.
get more and more resistant to
Hmm.
challenge, you get new challenges. You
Oh,
know,
yes. Oh,
oh
yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's just that's there is always something trying to challenge me.
Yeah.
That's always, and it's usually internal. At this point,
Hmm.
the external things that other people might, they might have to be trying to figure out how to feed the kids tomorrow.
Wow.
I don't have that challenge. I've got
Hmm.
new challenges. You know,
Yes.
because
Okay.
and it's just as you move up higher and higher heights, you have different challenges, and so
Hmm.
you have to have the faith and the fortitude
Hmm.
internally,
Yeah.
and I do have that, but
Yeah.
I can look at the new bills that come in, and the difference between the old bills is they have a zero on the end.
Yeah.
You
Wow.
know,
Wow. So it doesn't matter where you are, there's always going to be those challenges and those obstacles. And
yeah.
ultimately,
Stop
what
trying
I'm
to
hearing,
escape.
yes, we should put that huge at the bottom. Stop trying to escape. It comes with the territory,
It
right? You
does.
said something that's amazing too. Gravity is an obstacle when you want to fly.
Yes,
That is amazing. I've never heard that. So thank you for that. I've written it
because I
down.
made it up
Well, I
just
received
here.
that. Just here. Okay.
It just came to me that with those words, but it's true.
But it is true. It absolutely is. And ultimately what I'm hearing you say is either you're gonna fly or not. Grow the wings, do what you gotta do, make it
That's
happen,
right.
Captain. Ultimately,
That's right.
yeah. So
Yeah,
and
we sit. You know what? Here's the problem, and I'm going to say something, and it's going to be
go ahead.
controversial. Fantastic.
Yes.
Stop. And you are not going to find it in your prayer closet. See, your prayer closet is supposed to reinforce you to get up off your knees and get
Come
out there and
on.
fight. See,
Oh,
see.
I'm okay. So the doors of the church are open. The
Yes,
door, yes. Let's the offering plate, bring it up. Because
bring it
listen,
up. That's what's
like
up, though.
it's your
That's what's
oh my
up.
God. So I'm hearing a couple things, whether you know it or not. So I'm gonna say this. What I'm hearing you say is this okay to pray?
You have
That's
to.
yeah, every single day. When I get up, before my feet hit the ground, I'm like, all right, now this we working on today. We got it. We here? Are we here? We
Yes,
okay,
yes.
all right, right. But
You
I'm
are
also
reinforced. Look, let me take you to church.
yeah,
That is the reinforcement
yeah.
of the faith. The
Mm,
faith is the substance of
things hoped
hoped
for.
for
Yeah,
and not seen,
not seen.
right? So
Ooh,
where do you get those things that you can see? It takes these,
you got to
your
work.
hands. You got to work.
You got to work. And I think that's where a lot of people miss
Yeah.
that that window, quote unquote, of opportunity for their business or with anything ultimately is
Yes.
they think that they have to stay in the prayer closet. And it doesn't work that way. You're going to have to get out here and you're going to have to put in some sweat equity, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So you
That's part
absolutely
of the
do.
curse.
What curse?
Ah, that's the curse of Adam and Eve.
Ooh.
At the
All right
beginning of the
now.
book. Too many of y'all
Yeah.
start in the middle of the book.
Yeah. Yep.
That's in the beginning of the book that you are going to
Amen.
work with your hands.
Yep.
You're going to at some point, I guess at one point, food just dropped down. They were there, oh, food, grow on trees.
Right.
That
Yeah.
was all the things of living
Yeah.
inside of that,
Yeah.
in the garden.
Mhm. But now here we are, and we have to work. Faith without works is dead. We've heard that.
Yes.
And now
Yes.
they've actually been able to, based upon quantum physics, they have actually been able to prove that which you focus upon materializes itself. But it also proves in that theory that when you are focused upon that thing, you can actually manifest it faster when you are in motion with it.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Love it. Get out your prayer closet,
Absolutely.
folks.
Get out your prayer closet. And I will go even deeper. No, I don't
Yeah,
need to go deeper. Let's let these
please
books.
do. Oh,
Well, just like you said, the gravity. You know what creates gravity? Gravity is created by the spinning of the planet.
yes,
Okay, that
correct.
creates the gravity. Similar,
Mm-hmm.
similar to the spinning in the wash, sits to the
Mm-hmm.
side, and
Yeah.
rings it out. That's the gravity. It's the spinning. If the planet stops spinning, there's
Yeah.
no gravity. Gravity pulls things to you.
Yep.
If you're not working, if you're not hustling, if you're not out there doing things, you're not spinning. So you
Mm-hmm.
can't bring things to you. You be wondering why, if you sitting in the middle of the prayer closet, pray all day. you're not spinning.
No, you're not.
So
Ooh,
that's
that's
how
good.
you bring things. Yeah, I know, but it's all in science. There's a
Yes.
whole lot of science to it.
Yep, it
Whole
is.
lot.
Yep. So y'all
And you
heard it
watch the
first.
people. You watch the people that are most successful that you want to be, and
Mhm.
you'll be like, when do they rest? When do they stop? They never stop. And I'm not
Never.
saying that's what you have to be, but I'm
Yeah.
saying that it is that motion
Yep.
that brings
It
and
is.
attracts things to you. And if you are not in motion, you're not going
Yep.
to see
I
the
agree.
results. All
I'm
right.
blown away. This was good stuff. Good stuff. So we're talking about discipline as well. And I know that we haven't gotten your full story just yet, but I wanted to focus on this too, understanding your armor. One of the things that I have noticed with people who I know personally who have decided to leave their business or whatever, for whatever reason, something stopped them, be it a legal issue, be it, not having the resources to continue and move forward, and say that's not enough. I can't take anymore. Emotionally, it's too much. And I wrote down what you said. You said, understand your armor. Would it be safe to say that along the journey, this is what Paulette does. Let's be clear. This is what I do. When I am faced with a challenge, the first thing that I stop and I ask myself after I get out of my feelings, okay, because a lot of times things are horrifying as the business is growing and it's scary up here, like everybody's looking at me like, when we getting paid? And I'm like, hold on just a minute. All right, let me get back up here on the shelf. I ask myself one question. What is the lesson that I'm supposed to learn here at this stage? That's the only thing that seems to calm my big head down. And I say, what was it that I missed that maybe I should have done here that I can do? Would it be safe to say, is that the armor that you're talking about, the lessons and applying them, knowing going forward that you may face it again? Or what exactly does that look like for you?
Ooh, that's good. So hmm, when when so is this on the other side of the win or while you're in it?
While you're in it and all the way
Okay.
through, because I don't think it ever stops.
Well, I mean, like you get a challenge with this one thing, and usually you
Mhm.
overcome that.
Yeah.
Then it's time to step back and ask that question.
Yep.
Okay. While you're in the fight, you have to recognize that you're in the fight and you will get to the other side.
Yeah.
That's oftentimes one of the hardest things to make yourself believe is
Mhm.
that I can't do this. It's got me, and then you
Yeah.
just kind of give up. But you have to realize that you are in the midst of the fight, and
Mhm.
the reward is on the other side.
Yeah.
You know, and that really is where that mustard seed thought comes in.
Right.
That you got the faith to get to the other side. You
Yeah.
know, that
Yeah.
I'm going to make it. I'm going to do it. So then you keep on running. you
Yeah.
know you got to do that. And there are mental challenges
Mhm.
that you probably could read some
Right.
books on to help you in that fight,
Mhm.
to give you more weapons, to hear about other people's stories. How did they get through? Make sure you're uh, 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 leaning in on the support that you have from your friends
Mhm.
and your family. Sometimes,
Mhm.
though,
Mhm.
you have to make new friends and you have to
Mm.
leave your old friends. See, because all these other friends that ain't even believing that you can fly are the ones that bring you down, you know? And so you got to look at your circle. You know how they say birds of a feather flock together, you know,
Yep.
right? And some of us live by, started from the bottom. Now we here.
Here.
Some of them we ain't supposed to be here when you get there.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
I mean, you got to really look at that circle And that's why, like you're in that group at TSP and those kind of folks. Those
Mhm.
kind of folks are different folks than we kind of hung out
Right.
with and
Right.
grew up with, because they
Mhm.
have the capability. You want to get around the people that are going to, enforce where you want to be, not where you
Yeah.
came from.
Absolutely. And I love that you said that. And there's nothing now. I'm gonna put this out here because that I just recently dealt with that in the past year, where I had to make some decisions to love you from afar
Yeah,
while
yeah.
I head over here. We good, we still here, we still homies. But I can't rock with you like that because you don't understand what I'm dealing with. And it's not that I don't love you, respect you, or whatever. It's just that my time with you has expired,
Mm,
and it's true, right? So we have to
hmm.
get to that point, like what you said, where these groups like TSP and others, and I ain't even gonna lie, like I have found others, but I'm right back where I started. And here's the thing: the mindset of the groups of people that you are with is so super important. And it's so funny. My mother says that often before she passed. Birds of a feather flock together. She was very clear on who I was supposed to hang with. And I didn't
Yeah.
understand until I got grown what she meant. And so I'm hearing you say the exact same thing. So clearly I needed to hear that again and cut some more folks off. Okay. All joking aside, but this is so good, and I hope that the people in the neighborhood and our front porch members are hearing you when you say that sometimes you got to move people out of your life to see the next phase and the next level.
Yeah, well, you know what? And I don't want it to be about cutting. I want it to be
Right.
about adding. The cutting will it will make itself very known.
Mm. So
Yeah.
you'll
And
see
you
it.
start hanging out. When you start hanging out with that new group,
Yep.
the old group either be like, "Oh, you too good for it." No, I'm not. I'm like, this
Right.
bro has done 10 million last year. I'm trying to learn as much as I can. Well, you want to
Yeah.
hang out with bye. I'll catch up with you.
Right.
Or maybe you'll
Yeah.
catch up with me. One of the two.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know?
Or maybe not. But there you
Yeah,
go.
maybe not.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had some that I just don't interact with as, you know,
Absolutely.
but
Absolutely.
but you have to understand your mindset. Your
Mhm.
mindset sets the stage for everything.
Mm.
And if you're living in the wrong mindset, or you're hanging out with people that bring you to the wrong mindset, then you're probably not going to get to where you want to get.
Mm.
So there are some look, man, let me tell you, it is all about sacrifice.
It is. It absolutely is. And this is the sacrifice of sitting in a chair that no longer has cushion. Let's talk about that, right? Because I don't like sitting in my office, but I enjoy this spot. You know what I mean? So
Me too. I'll get up and be like, oh, my back.
I get up and I
You know.
lean over first,
But I'm in here and I'm working. I'm doing what I'm
Yeah.
supposed to do. And that's another thing. Oh, girl, I can't even talk to you because
Come
there's so
bring
many
it. Let's
things.
go. Let's go. I love it.
Well, another thing is the word work,
Yeah.
you know, because a lot of us don't understand what the word work is. Work
Okay.
it's a mathematical thing. Work
Mm.
equals force times distance,
Yes.
right? So you remember that W equals F
Yep.
times D. It's what
Yeah.
work is, right?
Mhm.
Work is not just sitting around and just typing all day. That's not work. Work
Mhm.
has to have a force and a
Come on.
distance.
Come
So
on.
if I push against this house, I don't care how sweaty I get, how tired I get. If the
Mhm.
house doesn't move distance, then I've done no work, because
Right.
all the force that I applied is being multiplied by zero. So the output is
Mm.
zero.
I just fainted. Wait. Mm.
Right? So it's like, oh, I'm working. I'm on my AI. I'm working. But
Whew.
you got zero for outcome. You've done no work, lady. Star. Okay? Don't give me that work. Where's the output?
Where's the output? Oh my God. Yo, I think I just got played and schooled all at the same time. Like, did y'all hear what he just said? Listen, neighbors. Well, neighbors, listen. Did you catch that? If you did not catch the replay, let's move on. That was
Let's move
so
on.
good. That's a
Yeah.
lesson. That is a lesson for somebody, including myself. I thought I was.
Including myself.
My God.
Yes.
Okay. So once you built that business and you were on eBay, let's talk about where you are now, because we could go on and on and on. But
Yeah.
now you said something on social media. You said you were a business coach or expert, something to the effect that uses AI. You are not an AI. You were clear. I'm not an AI expert. I'm a business
Yeah.
professional or business coach that uses AI. Let's talk about that and the power of
Sure.
what's happening. Now, this month's thesis or this season's thesis for Brownstone Living Magazine, I have been delving deep into the creator economy personally, specifically and I'm just going to put our business out there for just a little bit. Advertising dollars have changed how they are spending it, right? And so for people like myself who are publishers and so forth, what I'm experiencing right now is the advertising dollars aren't drying up. They're being more selective in how they disperse those dollars, right? So what I'm experiencing are more collaborations. Not just oh yeah, we'll give you 25K for 6 months worth of advertising, right? They're saying we'll give you 12,000. We'll give you 12% of each sale for the next 6 months, and then we'll come back and review. I'm seeing a lot of that.
So they're giving you the 12,000 up front. Is that what they're saying? Is that what you're
Basically,
in that scenario? So they will give you that. Okay.
So they'll provide as long as you're providing that deliverable within that
Yeah.
window of time based upon their
Yeah.
brief and what you said that you were going to deliver, they'll cut you the check. But if you want the rest of that coin, here is a lifetime link that you can post based upon these parameters, and you can get the rest of it, but you're going to have to earn it. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So the creator economy is changing, and AI is definitely a part of that. So when we came up with the thesis for this month's issue or this season's issue, it is the gatekeepers are gone. Not the gatekeepers are gone. Let me take that back. That's not my phrase. The gatekeepers have dropped the keys, and the creators have picked them up. And so we're living in a time now where complete and full agencies are reaching out to user-generated content creators, UGCs. They're reaching out to publishers such as myself and others, and they are absolutely using AI to help to funnel some of this content, some of this information to create the briefs that we're using on our end when we are creating content or the ads for the magazine or even for Brownstone Worldwide. So we're looking at how AI has become a part of everything that we are doing. I am curious because I have watched you literally online shut down, box up, and the next thing I knew, I saw you were building something different. Number one, when did you know that it was time? Just like we knew that it was time for us to pivot how we changed our rate card, how we work with brands now, as opposed to what we did in the past. Like, you just ain't knocking on doors anymore and saying, hey, we got this great whatever. Now I got to show you my numbers. Now I got to show you where it's coming from. Now I have to show you what our social media platforms are doing in addition to that and what that engagement looks like. So here we are with this new way of doing things, and we ultimately still have that power. But when you're talking about adding AI and this creator economy to all of this, Did you see that coming when you made that
Well, yeah. Let me just give you a little bit. I've been in AI since 2015,
Okay.
which, most people didn't even hear about it until ChatGPT came out,
Right.
3.5 years ago.
Mhm.
But if I bring you back and then I say, well, AI beat Ken Jennings on Jeopardy, and then you'd be like, oh, I remember it was Watson. Yeah, Watson beat Ken. That was
Okay.
AI in its first iteration for like public consumption. And so when that happened, IBM reached out to influencers at the time, and I happened to be one of the e-commerce influencers that they
See.
reached out to. They flew us out to Las Vegas, wanted to introduce us to the AI thing, and it was just too soon. It was too soon. IBM's strategy for market, it was too soon, and what they had done with Watson was just not ready for public consumption. But it got me totally into it,
Yeah.
and I could see what was coming, especially in marketing,
Yeah.
because that's what I was doing for the, to be able to see, to be at the top of search engine optimization. And
Right.
that was something that was very clear for where it was going, and it was going to make changes. So I was very interested. So all of that is to say, recognize that AI is just a tool.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And what I mean by that, people right now are like doing all these shifts to saying like, I'm an AI expert. Okay. So you're a hammer expert.
Right.
Okay. If I'm building a house, if that's one of the tools in my toolbox, when I need expertise on hammering, I'm going to call you. That's where we're going.
Okay.
And we're going to get there really, really quick,
Okay.
So I'm not one of these people that wants to be introduced as a tool expert. And that's not what I am. I spent 25 years in small business, and I'm an expert at that. And when this tool came up, I'm like, okay, I need to learn how to use that tool because it's going to help me nail in nails fast.
Okay.
And so that's how much deference I give to AI. But understanding how big this hammer is going to be inside of the grand scheme of things, so it's going to move a lot of things at 10x. So in your scenario, you've got to really think, and I'm just using this as an example, but all of us, you've got to think how to produce what you used to produce 10 times faster and 10 times easier. You can pull out the AI tool to help you do that.
Absolutely.
Because what's happening is those guys are figuring out, hey, well, I used to be able to spend my money on producers, and they would get it to me and I would spend that money. And now it's like, hey, a lot of those things that they used to do for me, I can do with this new hammer.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
So what you end up having to do is figure out how to get it to them 10 times easier, 10 times cheaper.
Absolutely. And here's it's funny that you brought that up. Everyone, and I love that. First of all, let me say this. Thank you for saying that it is exactly what it is, because I am seeing way too many experts out there, quote unquote experts, who are saying that they're the hammer expert, if you will. And ultimately, what I'm hearing you say is learn how to use the tools that you have to produce it 10 times faster. It's funny that you say that, because in the industry that we're in over here, because let's just keep it 100, and I'm going to put the business out there, is it's an advertising platform ultimately, right? I've been doing this 30 years in terms of media, so I understand what radio print and websites do for a specific business. It's advertising. We know how to do that. But on the other side of that, everybody else is doing it too now with this new creator economy. And to your point, I love this. Y'all, write this down, what Coach John just said. You have to use the tools to produce it faster. Because let me tell you this, and I'm using my business as an example. When they reach out to us, guaranteed, I'm not the only one that they've reached out to. They want to know who's going to get back with them faster and who's going to get that sucker done quicker than anybody else.
Yep.
Period. So you're so right. I didn't even think about it like that.
Period. Look, and the same with me, but it's an advertising game. When they reach out to me to do video or talk about their product or review their product, all that stuff as an influencer, it's still an advertising game.
Yep.
Right?
It is.
And so for a person like myself, back in the day, I could charge you $20,000 to get engaged. Today, I can only charge $5, because that's where the market has moved. Yes. Right? But here's the deal. I'll take your $5, right? And what I will produce will be 10x what the other guy is going to produce.
Yeah.
Because I can do it with AI. Yeah. And that's where my expertise as a influencer is 10x'd by the AI. And now when I get into these deals, I will sometimes take the back end because I know what I can actually do on the back end. It's like, you know what? Let me just take this little bit up front. And yes, let's do a 25% on the back end.
Gotcha.
Now I'm all in because I got all the tools. I know how to use this tool to really, really blow up that back end.
I love that. So that helps. I love that. And I love the fact that you are using those tools. So let's talk about really quickly, if we can, because we're wrapping up. We're about ready to wrap, and we've been talking. I could go on and on and on because, sir, the amount of nuggets that you have dropped on today have fueled my level of commitment to keep moving. Listen, you've been on massive stages. You've been in Singapore, Stockholm, Sweden. You've been in South Africa, Kuala Lumpur, Australia, all over the US. You've been on major stages. And with where you currently are now, and like I said, I've seen you speak on stages before, and I've been in hot seats with you. I don't even know if you remember that, but you let me have it. Yes, you did. This was early. Oh my God. I will never forget. It was just with y'all. This is when we first started Brownstone Worldwide. And I had a Santa Claus on the cover. Never forget it. So, but you gave me some amazing advice, amazing feedback. But you have been all over the place. You have been on these stages. Number one, do you just reach out and you say to yourself, hey, y'all, I'm the person that you need to reach out to? Or do they find you through networks or through your relationships with other people? And how do people find how to reach out to you? And how can they themselves be the expert, quote unquote, in the tool that they themselves offer?
Awesome. First, cold or ice. So it says it down there. Just look that word up. One word. All right. That's me. You'll find me. Yep. Just look that word up on anything. I don't care if it's AI or, Google. So that's how to find me. All right.
Okay.
Because my name is very common, John Lawson. But I got johnlawson.com too. But just reach out. Okay. What was the other question?
And the other question is, well, that was a part of it. But then the other question is, how do we?
How do they find you?
How do they find you? Like, sir, you've been everywhere. Like, is it a part of your network? And I know it's years of what you've done.
Yeah, so, a lot of that is that.
Okay.
At this point, a lot of that is that. And I work with some pretty large companies.
Mm-hmm.
I just wrapped up a project with like Alibaba, you know, I
I
mean,
love that.
they're one
Yeah.
of the biggest, you know, I've worked with eBay, FedEx, you name it. It's so disgusting. I don't even want to tell you the list. But so at this point, you know, a lot of
Yeah.
things, my phone rings or my email just blows
I
up.
love that.
Um,
Gosh, I love that.
yeah, but I mean, if I go back into how we got here,
Mm.
it is about outreach, you know, and just finding what are the opportunities, because there are
Mhm.
opportunities out there, and then just, you know, applying.
Yeah.
The other
Yeah.
thing is, you know, being and putting out quality content,
There
you
you
know,
go.
especially in the AI slop age, you know. I
Mm.
don't, you know, here, I'm gonna tell you one thing AI doesn't have. AI doesn't have style. It doesn't have swag. Doesn't have taste. So we need the human part of that. So
Absolutely.
the deal is you need to be putting your expertise and your swag on top of whatever you're outputting with
Absolutely.
AI.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that.
That is something that's so important. So if you're going to use the tool, definitely use it to help you
Mhm.
amplify you. It is
Yes.
not about you throwing out everything AI gives you.
Mhm.
It is about you giving AI your swag so that it will put that content out there that is going to really make people look at it and say, I see John in that. Um,
Yeah.
and so, you know, if you want to be an expert, be an expert.
Yeah. Whatever that looks
Uh,
like.
I'm going to
Maybe
let that resonate, because the deal is you can't just turn on the tool and become the expert. You need to be the expert and let the tool amplify that. Yeah. You want to
some
be
of
the
y'all need to
expert.
hear that. Some of y'all need to
That's
hear
right.
that,
Yeah.
folks. If you're gonna
Yeah.
be the expert, be the expert. And
So you're
thank you for
leaving your job. Wait,
yeah.
real quick. A lot of people are leaving their job to be an AI expert. Well, what was the job that you were good at?
Woo! So
That's what
good.
you're the expert in. And then you
Yes.
use AI to help you elevate you in that.
Continuate that.
Okay, I'm done.
Genius, y'all. Simple genius. And when I say that, I don't mean that to be facetious. I literally mean it just like that, because how much more simple can you get? I think we're overcomplicating things. And I'm going to say that with all the love in my heart. Let me see one more AI expert show up out of nowhere with a course for $497, with a membership for $99 in school. And it's the next get rich quick scheme to me. And
It
I'm
is.
kind
It
of over
totally
it.
is. Well, you
Yeah.
know, hey, it's still got some runway. But
Yeah.
if you want to get to 8 figures,
Hmm.
you're gonna have to have some more expertise than just that.
I love that.
You're
Thank you
gonna have
for
to figure it
sharing
out.
that. That is really, really good. So now we are down to the last couple of minutes, because listen, I could talk to you for hours. We're not going to do that because you're a busy man. A couple of things. One, what is we have people who come here. First of all, August is also Black Business Month. We have a couple of people that we're going to be featuring. You are definitely one for brownstoneworldwide.com as well. But I wanted to ask for all of the business owners who will be featured this month, and also for those folks who are watching this and will watch this in the future, what is the good, the bad, and the ugly of being in business?
Oh,
Um, and what have you done to ride the wave?
hmm. All right. Good, bad, and ugly. I'll give you a simple thing. I'll never forget this guy. Uh, Old friend of mine. He started a business that sold to American Express.
Mm,
So it was a financial business. He sold it to American Express. I'm in the airport. You know, you just see people in there. I was like, "Whoa, what's up, bro? What's up?" You know, and I was talking to him about biz, how things are going. He said something to me I'll never forget, because he was the CEO and founder of this company,
yeah.
sold for, I don't know, hundreds of millions of dollars
Mhm.
to American Express. And I was, you know, how things going, blah, blah, blah. I was like, bro, you must be living the high life at this point. This is before he sold. He's like, let me just tell you something. We got 250 people on staff. All those people have to get paid before me. Never forget that. I'll never forget that.
Woo.
Because it changed my paradigm of this idea that he was taking all the money first. He's like, no, you got to pay your people before you ever get paid.
Yep.
And so he's like, I get the leftovers. I was like, God, dude, that just changed me. That just changed me. So if you want to build something big, you want to have to make sure you are the guy that's going to get the leftovers. You're not the guy that's going to be out here balling and all that stuff.
Right.
So that was one of the good, bad, and uglies about business for me. It changed everything. The good parts are all the other parts. You get to write off, and you get to hang out and all that stuff. That's great. And what was the second question?
So the other question is how do you continue to ride the wave?
How do you continue to ride the wave? Okay. The way you continue to ride the wave is to be on top of the wave. Okay. Right. That's how you ride the wave. And then when you get to the lower part, you ever watch a person ride a wave? They get to the lower part and then they flip it and then they get back on top and then they ride down, then they flip it again. And that's how you ride a wave. Okay. So one of the things you have to do, folks, is you have to be like the Olympic judging panel. People are going to give you 10s and some people are going to give you 2s. And you're going to throw away the 10s and you're going to throw away the 2s and you're going to ride in the middle. So you can't be believing all the hype about you. Those are the 10s. You got to throw those away. You got to throw away the low people because they're going to be haters. Always going to be haters. I could care less. And you're going to ride in the middle. And that's your game. Figuring out how to ride that wave. It's a struggle, but that's the key.
I love it. I love it. Y'all, once again, John Lawson III of Colder Ice. Here is where you can find him. Look him up, he said. You can find him everywhere. We are talking today.
One word.
Colder Ice. So let me fix that.
Fix it up.
Fix it. We're gonna fix this, honey. Listen, we're gonna make it do what it do, and we are going to build that and put it back up there. It is. It absolutely.
Next time we talk, you'll ask me, how did I get Colder Ice? Next time.
How? Yeah, because see, listen, I'm sure. And you heard what he said. He said next time.
I'll come.
So maybe he can get Coach John to come and hang out with us at our second annual block party. That's a whole different ball of wax. Listen. Get him to sit down and have an intimate conversation with us. But y'all, I want to thank you, Coach John, for coming to hang out with us and talk with us and agreeing to be on the cover of Brownstone Living Magazine, which you do not know. And for the people in the neighborhood and for those people, big shout out to my team. We are small 7 folks, but we are mighty. Listen, big shout out to my team, my design team, my major folks who do all of the writing and so forth, and our contributors. But I want you to know that this month we started a new, sleeker, more aesthetically pleasing design. And Rakaya and I decided that we needed to start with you. This elevates us to another level. Real talk. Like we have chosen to start with the man himself that put his foot on our neck and called us to excellence. And that's important, whether you know that or not. So we look up to you. We appreciate you. We thank you. And we see you, sir, as you continue to grow and to build what you are doing in your level of excellence for you. And for those of you who don't know who John Lawson III is, look up Colder Ice. But listen, there are 3 things that I always like to say before we end every single broadcast. Are you ready? Coach John, stick around for about 2 minutes after. Don't leave me hanging. 1, love your life. It is the only one that you have. 2, live your life to the fullest and embrace everything that is your life because you only get one you might as well enjoy it. And lastly, breathe through every single moment. All right, neighbors, get out there and get some of that front porch energy. Don't forget to get your keys. We'll see you around. Thank you so much for joining us today. It has been a pleasure.